Hello, this is Epic Butter. I've been playing Soul Strike for about a year. I'm currently one of the highest ranked players in Soul Strike, and this video is to help you maximize rare resources like Void Crystals, Jewels, and Dimension Stones to help you get the best ultimate gear early. So over here I want to start off and just really talk about the map. You will start off in the middle of the map, and the game will tell you that there are portals that you walk through the edge of the map and then you can teleport. So here I am, I'm teleporting, I'm looking for an edge, and here it is. So there, I can teleport. That's generally how you travel. There's also this nice auto move feature now. The thing that you'll immediately see when you go into the Conqueror's world, and this is generally what people do when they first log in, is go and log in and just look for where the treasure is, and then you can go to the treasure, click on the treasure box, and you'll get some free stuff. It's just free, it's great. And then the merchant, and we'll also see the field bosses. We'll go into the merchant. There's generally 3 merchants. There's Lily, she's about crafting material. There's Oscar, he's about tickets and keys. And then there's Charles, who's about gear. For crafting material early game, you're not really crafting a lot, so there's not too much for you to like try to buy unless you really want to get some early ore. They're fairly cheap, they're fairly worth getting. I actually think I do want to get some ore, and generally it's pretty worth it to buy. As soon as you're just needing all blue, it's really not worth it, because you get 1 blue for every 5 green, so it's just not a great rate. And then I'm going to keep in mind the next thing I'm working on in the building, which is this Stele of Records. And the Stele of Records, so I need 1 more of those overpowered core. So the reason why I want this is because it will unlock the second pet, and that's just generally a huge power up. So that's one of the biggest goals in the game, because it's such a massive power up. It's really fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy that core, buy that ore, and there we go. That's enough ore. Generally, the thing people buy from Lily is not any of those things. Most people will buy flasks and totems. And I would say hammers are the best buy when they're 100,000 ether. It sounds expensive, but you really don't have many sources of hammers early game. So that becomes kind of important when you're trying to add another hole into your ultimate gear. Now, to talk about field boss, the reason why it's important is really because of these void legacy crystals. These are going to help you with your ultimate gear. These are going to help you with your jewels. I know it says I have 800. It's not enough. Just keep doing it every day if you can. The next thing people generally will do is go find their tile, or find a tile that they like, and they'll try to research it to 1000%. Because what this does is help your tile takeover score to be much higher. So that's the reason why my tile takeover score is fairly high. So if I look into mine, you know, I showed this last time. So it's really because I have higher research. This will reset every 4 weeks now. They changed it. Another reason why you want to research tile is because they're adjacent to the castles, and you see this research bonus. What this is you get additional score bonus for having an 1000% research. So when it comes to selecting a tile, you want to select a tile that isn't necessarily always going to be contested or will be guaranteed to be researched. So for this one's a 20. I researched it. It's not adjacent to this sun castle, so I know that there will be less people fighting over it, or that it'll just be less busy. And what you'll see here is also some notes that you get some specific rewards. So it's not saying these are the only things that drop here, but these are the unique things that drop here. So if you click around, you'll see that different things drop here. This one's particularly important because this one helps you craft keys for the raid boss every week. So the more of these you have, the more ether and the more raid boss you can get. You need 10 of each of these materials for the book that helps you upgrade to your SSS class, and that's this guy here. So you'll need a book, so that's what this refers to. And each zone has this, so you'll need 10 of each, and they all represent a different item on your gear. So green represents weapons, brown represents clothes. So when you are going through your progression, you want to be doing tile takeover as much as you can, just so that you have the crystals that you need for your upgrade. My recommendation generally though is to upgrade your weapons first, because they'll give you the most benefit and the most final damage. Let's talk about the jewels. Where do we get jewels? So we get most of our jewels from a thing called Shrine of Darkness. There we go. And then as you clear it, you get these jewelry boxes, and you'll get prisms. And this is if you do the wipeout, that's what you get. So I'm going to wipe out, and you'll see I got a box. getting 2 jewels a day is very slow, right? So the best way to actually get more void and more jewels is to actually join a guild. Here I'm actually in the Magikarp guild, but here is the keys that I like to buy. Generally, I also recommend donating every day. And that's also because it provides you this guild coin currency. And that'll be like one of the fastest way for you to progress. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the Abyss key. This Dimension Rift key, that's the key for the field boss. And then these keys are the ones that you buy for Shrine. You're gonna get the most currency actually out of doing Abyss. And as you see, the higher level you go, the more guild coin you get. You do have to watch out for the gimmicks though. There are a few that are kind of head scratchers that like, hey, how do I do this? And then you kind of have to change your build around. The reason why you also want to join a guild is to get this glorious gold chest. And as long as you do enough damage, you will get all the rewards. So really it's important to join a guild where you can get all the rewards. And that really just helps you progress and make sure that you can fight the field boss every day. You get as many jewels as you can, because jewels actually kind of have a pretty ugly break rate, let's call it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe out these keys so that I can get some jewels. So we'll try to upgrade some jewels. Open up some jewels. Woo. And I did the field boss. So you see I still got 17 and one of those boxes, and in those boxes you still get, you know, 4. So I got 21. That's just really helpful. You get 40, I think. Then so yeah, it just helps you even it out. So over here I'm just making some jewels, and you can see the cost here is the same as your ultimate, except with the exception of this enhancing stone, but it costs a lot of void legacy to do this and clovers. My general recommendation is really focus on the colors you need, and you can always check this by going to your gear and go to jewel crafting, and you'll see that like this one needs a topaz, emerald, or amethyst. But really, this only needs an amethyst because you really want final damage. Emerald is the crit damage one. Over here, it's zircon, and that's the final damage one, and sapphire, and that's the crit damage one. And for offense gear, you only really want the ones that give final damage and crit damage. While for defense, I think you got a lot more flexibility. I think all 3 are useful. They provide, and I think we could see it here, is one of the 3, HP, defense, or all element resistance. And they're all helpful. Like having one of these as a full all element resist is gonna just make you so much tankier. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break that. Oh yeah, see, and this one broke. So it's really important just to keep trying to get those jewels, and it's really important to keep your void legacy numbers up so that you can keep making jewels. I said breaking, but I meant making, I swear. Anyway, that's kind of the jewels in a nutshell. Runes is very new, and for early players, there's not too much information out there. So runes unlock at stage 1500. You get these runes and you get these cores. I'm saving up my cores for a larger pot that will allow me to build a much higher quality rune, and that rune will be really important for me to, well, it has a chance of having a skill augment, which is similar to an enchant where it changes the way your skill operates. They're great. They're just very rare. They're very rare and very hard to get right now. So I'm not building the lower versions right now. I'm just building the high versions. So here you go, uncommon, common. Usually I'll flip it upside down because I can see which my lowest grade is, and I'll go rarity and I'll flip it. And I'll see here all the different effects they have. Now, my recommendation for early game players is for the colors that you're using for, like, if you're like a fire build, go ahead and try to actually do fire boost or boost for the element that you're doing. And I haven't done it here mainly because it was something that we've been working on. But yeah, use element boost for your main. Really use attack, crit damage, and final damage. And this is like a great power up. Really for early game. This really helps propel you. Go ahead and just try to do the content. That's kind of runes in a nutshell. But anyway, thanks for watching. My editor really wants me to say like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. It's always a pleasure.